work session, back from executive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome to the June 12th meeting of the Board of Trustees. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Wright. Here. Trustee Solichak.
Here.
Trustee Tiberius.
Here.
Trustee Rizzo.
Here.
Mayor Gimblet.
Here. Item 3, privilege of the floor. Is there anybody who'd like to be heard before the body? Seeing none, we'll close privilege of the floor. Item 4 is local law 2019B to amend the village code relating to water rates. Is there anybody who would like to be heard at the public hearing for the water rates? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
That was what just introduced tonight.
Not the law.
Oh, the water, I'm sorry.
Yep. I published, public.
Okay. May I have a motion to accept the change in the water rates?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Call roll.
Trustee Wright. Yes. Trustee Solichak.
Yes.
Trustee Tiberius.
Yes.
Trustee Rizzo.
Yes.
Mayor Gimblet.
Yes. Item 5 is introduce a local law 2019C to amend the village code relating to brush, grass, weeds, and other vegetation. Heather?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that'll go for a public hearing next month. Okay. Item 6, resolution to request civil service to eliminate the full-time building inspector and create a part-time position.
I'd like to make the motion to table that decision and discussion pending further review and guidance from the building inspector.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna oppose to that,
Okay.
on the basis he didn't sit around to wait, so let's not do that for it. So, I'm gonna vote no.
Okay. Item 7, authorize the mayor to sign a contract with MCOR Services for the Village Hall and Fire Department boilers.
I'll make the motion for the mayor to sign those agreements for the fire department boilers in Village Hall.
These guys have been real good, right?
These are the same guys that got one last time?
Yeah, they've been the company since I started in the job, so they have a lot of good history and knowledge of the system.
Yeah.
They have a new service manager, and we kind of took another look at the contract and what was in it and the expectations of it, and I think it's better. It's less than last year, so that's good. So I think it's a good thing. It's not remarkably less, but there is actually a decrease, which is uncommon.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept the contract.
What? Do we do? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 8, I have a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a maintenance contract with Adams Heating and Cooling for DPW permits.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 9, do we have a list of these? I haven't seen that. Okay. We have a list of surplus vehicles. We have a motion to authorize the list.
Make a motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Item 10, a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a commitment letter from CDTC for the technical assistance grant relating to the 5 and 50 intersection of case study review.
I'll make the motion for the village to enter the agreement with CDGC for the grant to study 5 and 50. I think it'll be a great start to a much needed revision.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 11, we have a resolution to amend the fund year 2019-20 budget CHIPS for rollover and correct the 2019-20 allocation increase. A3501 and A5510, 4210 by 81,788.70.
More money for paving, I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
I'll third.
Item 12, the motion to approve the contract for the ADA sidewalk project. Do you want to explain that, like you explained it the other day, so that you know?
The bids,
Yeah.
or the bid. So we got one bid, which was disappointing that we got one. It was more than the CDBG funds, the remainder of the funds. With the engineer, we modified the scope slightly to remove a couple of the ramps that could either wait or could be done in-house at some point. And they negotiated the price down to something that we can afford. It's more than the funds, but it's something that can be covered with either CHIPS money or paving money. We're up against a deadline in that I need to get the streets, North Toll Street and Sealy Street paved before school starts. So to say reject and rebid, we basically push that paving off to next year, and I don't think we can do that.
How many people didn't respond?
Well, I think we sent out 11. They weren't all companies that would have bid. We get some companies that are basically, they publish the bid to a wider audience, and we got one. It's Callahan. I mean, it's a completely reputable company. I'm thrilled to work with them. But, you know, on Toll Street, National Grid's doing a gas line. We've got to replace a couple hydrants. We've got to do these and pave it all by the end of August. So at some point, you just say, you know what? This is money that the state was going to take back. It's a good use of it. We're going to get a good product, and let's do it and move on. So
So if we were gonna pave those streets, we would have to do those sidewalks anyway.
we have to do them
Out
anyway.
of our pocket.
So if we said we're not gonna do them, then I'd have to push Gorman off. If you guys approve this tonight, they'll get started, we'll do a pre-bid, or not a pre-bid, a pre-construction meeting next week, because in the bid, they're done by the end of July, which gives me all of August to pave it. If we don't do that, I'll tell Gorman we'll do it next year. And
But we couldn't, if we wanted to pave that street, we have to do the ADA anyway, right? That's
To
required.
get, yes.
To use the CHIPS money.
Yes, exactly. I can't submit for CHIPS money unless I show that those sidewalks are up. It's a huge issue that I have with, I'm sorry, this is a little off topic, but it's on camera. And she's taking notes. It's a huge issue I have with the CHIPS program in that villages and cities are adversely impacted by it because they're required to update their sidewalks. The town can pave all they want because they don't have sidewalks. And they don't have to update them. So there's nothing to update. So they can pave if I'm looking at 25% of our CHIPS money to update the sidewalks, then that's less that we're paying. So when we get, you know, free money like this from CDBG, then that means we're paving more. So, you know,
Yeah, I'll go for that.
they are, you know, they're good intersections to do, they're by the schools, they connect to our sidewalk project that we did a couple years ago. So it does, it's a good area. I would have liked to do more, but, you know, you hit a deadline and it is what it is. It's not just us, a lot of places are having trouble getting people to bid on stuff. There's a lot of work.
Yep.
And although for us, it's a big project to do 15 curb ramps, for them it's, I mean, this is the same company that's paving 147. So, you know, this is a filler for them, basically.
Okay, so can we have a motion for that?
Make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 13, can I have a motion to approve the contract?
Here, Andrew, do you want to speak to the EV charger? The bids were not,
Yeah, we don't have a recommendation.
Eric doesn't have a recommendation yet for the board.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought we were set for that.
Yeah, we were hoping to be.
We were
separate
hoping
tonight.
to, but it will have to adjust it into it.
Okay, so we'll table.
Which is fine, with the grant, and, I mean, the timetable's fine, we wanted to get started, but it was just there's some more discussion we have to have.
Item 14, can we approve the volunteer firefighter Ryan Belloway?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 15, motion to approve the mass gathering permit for Jumping Jacks Drive-In fireworks, Jumping Jacks Drive-In for fireworks to be held Friday, June 28th.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 16, resolution to approve standard workday and reporting resolution for elected and appointed officials.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 17, there's comments to the board. Just a few ongoing things. Our sidewalk program met again this, committee met again this week, and we've got another 10 sidewalks I get to send letters out on. They're walking and reporting. It gave them, Andrew suggested an additional assignment for them to catalog sidewalks that are asphalt and sidewalks that are where the driveway crosses the sidewalk instead of the sidewalk crossing the driveway. So they've been working on that, I think. The update on the bridge over Route 50 by Franks. The state will not allow us to put the sign up that we're hoping to. They're going back and figuring out, the state didn't, the design we had was too distracting, so they were, that kind of thing isn't allowed over a state highway. So we talked about just painting, and Gary Paint Store has a product that you can put on over that just makes graffiti so you can wash it off. The state has an issue with that too, and that if we scrape the paint, it has lead in it, and they don't want it, they would have to wrap the bridge and collect the paint. So they were discouraged, but we went back to the Franks looked into it, and they think they can get a paint that you can spray over the rust and the lead paint, so you don't have to scrape. So whether anybody's gonna be willing to go to that kind of, detail for just a black bridge, we'll see, but, we have permission from the railroad, we have permission sort of from the state to do that, and so we have to see if Rotary's still willing to do it. Anyway, it's been a long process. The only other thing I think is that, we had a bunch of people interested in memorial trees for the park, and Jimmy got a brainstorm of having a new place to put them, so we got a bunch of trees that go in a line now from the splash pad down to the parking lot along both sides of the sidewalk. And they've been purchased, they've been put in, they look beautiful. We have a long list of people who have, who want to have, I mean, we already had the list, and we called the people and they've sent in checks to pay for the trees and pay for the sign. And I think all we have to do now is do the plaques and we're done. So I think we're in good shape to do that. I think we have all the people, what the people want to say. So that's my report.
Could I just comment on the last two issues?
Sure.
With regards to the bridge, there's also the graffiti that's below the bridge on the wall where they painted underneath
Yeah.
the bridge. Yeah. Any rules with regards to that area? With regards to paint?
Well, I mean, we have a rule for the whole thing. So the village has a rule that anybody who has graffiti on their property has to cover it up, basically. And so that the difficulty is making the railroad do it. And the way they do it, as you can see on the base, is they just paint over the graffiti and it looks almost worse.
With the bridge,
So-
I think there too.
Yeah, so, but that, I mean, that complies with the law, and that's what we had made, you know, Chris had them do that a couple of years ago. The ones on the bridge, we could do the same thing, and they'd probably correct it the same way by getting somebody out there with a spray thing to spray over the graffiti. And it would look just as bad as it does now. So that's why Rotary was interested in helping us do paint the whole thing and put a good-looking mural that repelled graffiti and would be done for a while. That was out of the question, so we're working on an alternative.
The other question I had with regards to the memorial trees, are there any available trees that are left over for people who want to do that, and what cost would be involved?
There are a few that aren't claimed, and they're $300 a piece.
Thank you.
Okay, correspondence, liaison, and special committee reports. No, we don't have any correspondence. Tom, you
We didn't have a bid meeting yet, so that's till the end of the month. But I have an
I was
update.
there.
That was last month. Oh yeah, you were there this month, yeah. A little empty. I got an update from the facility project, just to keep everybody on the loop on it. H2M is in the process of the draft of the actual programming document. They're finalizing it for fire, police, and municipal. They have conceptual size on fire station, and they have completed the initial review of the 5 sites, or 6 sites we gave them. So all is moving, it's moving very well, and hopefully they're gonna wrap up the initial analysis phase very shortly.
Joe?
We had our final car show meeting. We got the goodie bag stuff. We got everything ready to go. We got our fingers crossed on the weather, and it seems to be 50-50. We also, Freedom Park, as you know, have their schedule out. I could get a package, maybe run it down to the Waterford Visitor Center. And I want to thank Andrew to put the docks in. I already see there's some boats already coming in. There was 2 last night, there's a catamaran that came in today.
Yeah, there's some big ones there.
So the word is out, and I'd like to get a book that we had, maybe drop them off down there too, because people pick that stuff up and they know what we're here. And from what I'm getting from feedback, they really like to stop in on the village. They say it's a great place to stop for overnight or for a couple of days. And now that we got the concerts going on in Freedom Park, it even makes it worthwhile for the stop. So it's working. And that's all I have.
Heather?
Yes, with regards to the docks, I definitely wanted to point that out. Thank you, Andrew. Also, there was an email sent out with regards to the annual hydrant flushing notice. I believe that went out on May 15th, and that will take place from May 27th through June 21st. A update from the clerks, our village tax notices did go out. I did also have an opportunity to speak with Mike Alwuski from Glenville, and again, we reiterated the bridge issue with regards to the graffiti. So that's all I have to report today. Thank you.
George?
I was pleased to, for the first time, be involved with the planning for the Memorial Day Parade in that committee. It was very, very nice to see how well it went and how many people volunteered their time and put forth the effort to do it. Chris Casper chaired it this year in kind of transition from Bob and Kurt. There's 2 young ladies who are taking over that responsibility for next year. There was a couple good ideas that were floated around on how to improve, how to better. I think one of my more poignant points to it, how to involve more of the people who attend the parade and who really much appreciate the lights and the bands to attend the memorial ceremony at the end for the placing of the wreaths on the memorial by the library. I definitely want to continue to educate our youth on how to be more appreciative of why we are where we are. I had a quick meeting with NYSERDA this month too about how to implement some programs that they have in place for both residents and commercial properties here in the village. I do need to do a lot more research into the high impact items, which like groups of them can better individuals who qualify for certain programs to save dollars on energy and be more involved in green energy. Working on a project to compile information with with Andrew and Lewis. We're putting together a bunch of previous permitting items to kind of try and compile previously done projects and tie them to real points. So it's going to work well with that grant that we're getting for the 5 and 50 intersection to try and improve those intersections, make them safer, and maximize the parking space and make it a safe environment to park in. Heather and I have the privilege to sign the bills for the month for the Finance Committee, and it's always nice to have a look at what's going on and where the funds are going and see the things that are improving through a lot of minor financial input. And that's about it.
Thank you. Item 19, departmental reports.
I move that we accept the departmental reports and thank the department heads for doing a good job on them.
Favor?
Aye.
Right.
Item 20, out of the claims. Motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to
I'll
pay the
second.
bills.
Call the roll?
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Solichak?
Yes.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee Rizzo?
Yes.
Mayor Casper?
Yes. Item 21, new business. We've got,
Somehow there's also what I sent you regarding the Blackbird out forward. So, Andrew, do you have it?
I have it.
Do you have it?
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah. just to,
Just with the
the
summary.
reason it came up today is we just received the permit from DEC
Oh, yeah.
for the flapper valve permission to do that work.
This is to authorize Prime to send it out for bid.
Yes,
So that's what the
so we just.
resolution is for.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion now?
I'll make the motion with special thanks to Senator Tedesco's office who made this grant possible,
Good.
and former trustee Kevin Mathis who got the grant and did all the other groundwork for it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The other item, new business is the resolution to go to summer hours starting July 5th and ending August 30th.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I got one.
Yes.
Andrew, what did they have, a gas repair on Bly Road, that long strip that's full of stone?
No, no,
The foot by
that's their last section of gas main on Bly Road that they're installing. So they have this new, like, it's called this asphalt zipper. And it takes up the asphalt and the concrete underneath it all.
Brings it up.
So that's obviously won't be, yeah, they did it on Toll Street too, and I had them go back and scrape some of it
I was
off.
gonna say, it looks like someone opened up the dump truck and just
They
let it
will
out.
move things along quicker than the way they used to do it.
Did you talk to DOT about that storm sewer on Saginaw that's collapsing?
Yeah.
I know you were trying
We're gonna
to
work
get some
with
action
them,
from
we're gonna work with them on a repair after school is out because of traffic. But I met they finally have a new
Finally
resident.
talked to you?
They finally have a new resident engineer after many months in Schenectady. So we met and came up with a solution.
Are there any other situations that you brought to their attention that we should know of besides that one?
With DOT,
Yeah,
well, that they should pave Sacanauga Road, but that's,
never happened.
yeah, I usually get snickers
Deer
when I
stare.
mention that, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very
They
much.
did, I will say before the parade, I requested that they work on some potholes, and they went much further than I thought they would. There were some ankle breakers before the parade, which again, it's not the village's job to fill those because it's not our road. But they responded and I thought they did an excellent job. So I think we're off to a good start with this resident engineer. I hope he stays.
I saw a couple of DOT employees out here at the corner of Kenbrook and Mohawk this morning. And they were looking in the box there by Stewart's. They're gonna put a new loop in the pavement and get that light to work again.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's a constant, yeah.
they promised it this summer.
Okay.
Andrew, how many streets you got on schedule for repave this year? You said, I think you said you gotta
It's a bit of a moving target right now, but the plan is to do Sealy Street, North Toll Street, and Sunnyside Road.
and that's Sunnyside, you gotta
Sunnyside
grind
Road
it,
is,
what now?
yeah. Sunnyside Road's a different process. It's one we haven't done yet, but I'm excited about it. It's the same process gonna happen on Sunnyside Road in the county on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
So we're realizing, I wouldn't say we're necessarily realizing savings, we're able to use that process where if it was just us doing it, the contractor wouldn't do it. It's not enough road. But when you combine it with what the county's doing, they're able to do it.
And just hope we've got a bridge between them.
Yes,
They
exactly.
can't use it, but
Well, I know the county did a big section of Maple Avenue with that process.
Yeah, and they
They
did,
say it worked
a
out
couple
fine.
years ago, they did Bly Road.
Have you
It's-
heard how good that is?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great process. It's just you need a lot of road, and we don't have a road. If you remember from the mayor's trivia during the Christmas party, we don't have a road in the village other than a state road that's over a mile long. And that's a big problem when you try to get these processes. They're not made to do that type of work.
Let's hear it for Team 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third place.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other new business?
No, sir.
No.
Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So bid.